even though I appreciate this notion of referring to your fellow black people, black men, black women, as black kings and queens, we need to understand that when you refer to a person as a black king and queen, you are placing on them a notion that you are holding them to a certain standard. But then when they don't match up to the certain standard that you're holding them to, then you know some shit's gonna go down. You feel me? Like, we're calling black people kings and queens and all these kind of things. But at the end of the day, a lot of us are doing things that you don't consider kingly or queenly or whatever, and then it makes you think, well, okay, if I'm doing things differently, am I no longer a black queen? If this man is doing things this way, is he no longer a black queen? It don't make no sense whatsoever. So for me, a black king is basically a leader, someone who takes care of his household, And to me, like, I know it's gonna sound really messed up, but let me just say this. Consider a black man a king if all he does is spend his time talking about what he wants to do to you sexually. I don't consider you a king like that. Like, you posting all these memes on social media about how you want to eat some woman's ass and all this kind of stuff. Fair enough. Kinky, having sex, it's all blessed. I don't have no real issue with it. But at the same time, if that is all you are posting, I want to know, what else are you going to do to make your woman feel comfortable, Like, she just come home from a long day at work and you're automatically talking about sex. No. A long day at work, sometimes when you want to de-stress, it's got absolutely nothing to do with sex. Do you feel me? Nothing to do with sex. So please get that thought out your head right now. Your woman comes home from work. She's been dealing with oppression all friggin' day, microaggressions all friggin' day, and the first thing you do is say to her, well, why don't we take this into the bedroom? Okay, take it into the bedroom then, right? But there are certain things you can do that don't involve sex. You can give her a massage, massage her feet, massage her back, You can just hold her. You can just hold her while she cries. These are simple things that you can do that don't necessarily involve sex. I mean, of course, if she says she wants sex and that's the way to de-stress, then fine. But I'm just saying, sex should not be the only thing that you feel can always solve your problems. If that's the only device, the only vice that you have to solve problems, you are the one who has the problem. Never be used as a problem solver, and this is why I'm saying these men are not kings, because they're not leaders. They're not standing strong. They're just following nonsense that they feel is okay to do. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, what else are you doing? Because if a woman is providing you with reassurance, with love, talking to you on a level that you can understand, talking to you on your own level. So, and doing all these various things to help you, then you should be also doing the exact same thing, but in your own way, So, yes, sex is a very, very important part of a relationship, but it should not be the only thing. Because if a woman is doing her queen duties and you're not doing your king duties, what on earth are you calling yourself a king for? Do you deserve that title? Every day I'm gonna eat my queen's ass, and I'm gonna, all these, and I'm just like, okay, first of all, not every single woman likes her ass eaten. Let's get it there. Not every single woman likes her ass eaten. Okay? Not all of us do. Some of us don't like that at all. We won't do it to a man, and we don't want the man to do it to us. Fair enough. If that's all you feel the need to say, then let's just cut the conversation here, because at the end of the day, I am in my 30s now, so certain shit that I would allow in my 20s, I don't allow now. So that's probably why I'm still single, because there's just some things that I'm just not into. Like, I went on a date in August with a friend of mine and we had a really good time. We actually talked, there was conversation, you know, and you could tell that he was actually listening to what I was saying and I also was listening to what he was saying. And even when we didn't speak, it was comfortable silence. And this is what you want. You want to be able to have an actual conversation where sex does not even enter into the conversation. And if it does, it's like a little subtle hint. It does not take over the whole conversation. The whole conversation is not one note. When it comes to speaking to someone, if you just want to have sex with someone, then just state your intention. Just state your intention from the beginning, you know? State that from the beginning. I just want to have sex. That's it. It does not necessarily have to be with you, but that is what I'm looking for at the moment. You will get more respect like that. However, if you are looking for a relationship with a woman, especially a black woman, and all you keep coming with is sex, this is what I'm going to do to you sexually, blah, 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 but you're not actually saying to her how you're going to help her mentally, how you're going to help her physically, how are you going to help her spiritually, emotionally, for her, you know, for her growth, her descent, so that when she passes on, she will become an ancestor, you know, that kind of growth. But you're not actually worthy enough to do that. Long and hard about your intention, your statement of intent. What do you actually want to do to please your woman? You feel me? What do you actually want to do to please your woman? Don't just sit there and talk about sex all the time, because trust me, that woman will go running for the hills. If that's not what she's looking for, she would go running for the hills. Okay? We're not always looking for that. Sometimes when we talk about black love, sometimes we're talking about the idea that when we are in a relationship with a black person, it is equal. It's equal. I'm doing my part, you're doing your part, and we come together and we will just smash the thing up. You feel me? It's never one note. It's never one note. It's never just like one person doing their thing and then you doing absolutely jack shit, and then you wondering why your woman or your man is constantly nitpicking at you. They're nitpicking at you because you're not pulling your weight. It's that simple. Like, if you're not pulling your weight, if you're not contributing to the household to keep it running successfully, what do you expect to happen? It's going to crumble. And then that's it. Another black family is destroyed. Simple, really. So, like I said, think carefully on your statement of intent. And make sure that your partner that you choose is also thinking along the same lines as you. That way you won't have any true struggles. Don't get me wrong. Sex is great. Sex is amazing. But make sure that sex does not take over your whole relationship, because if sex is the whole basis of your relationship, it's not a relationship. Just call it a situationship, friends with benefits. You're just bumping and grinding for no reason. Like, what is actually your purpose apart from sharing body parts, sharing body fluids, saliva, and all this kind of stuff with someone you don't see in your future? What is the point in it? I'm not going to be doing this bullshit, especially if we claim to be in a relationship and that is all we are doing. What about the dates? What about the conversations? You know, all these kind of things. But just sex, miss me with that shit. This is why I'm saying, you who keep saying that nonsense are not kings, because you keep portraying yourself as one way on social media, but in real life we know the real you, and you need to stop with that nonsense. So, I have said my piece on it. I'm not going to dwell too long on this topic. I'm not. I'm in the mood of, you know what, let me get this shit out. Let me say how I feel. If you don't like it, then please. I told you before, this is 2020 now. I'm not in the mood for that nonsense no more. Okay, so, like I said, I will say it again. If you missed it the first two times I said it, make sure you work on your statement of intent. Okay, so there is no confusion there, and so you can actually elevate yourself to actual king status, not just calling yourself a king because it's the fucking fashion. Actually make sure you actually are a king and you hold yourself accountable for your own actions. Okay, bye.